In Red Dead Redemption 2, whenever you loot an area, Arthur has to realistically search and open every cabinet and body while picking up each individual item at a time. The game does this slow-ass animation every goddamn time. Some people defend what I consider to be simply a pointless waste of time, saying that this looting system keeps the game immersive and realistic. And this is true, the system is realistic, but you know what looting system would have worked better?
The game is fun. The game is a battle. If it's not fun, why bother? If it's not a battle, where's the fun?
Modern video game culture has this weird obsession with realism. We want the most realistic graphics, most realistic systems, and the most realistic animations. It's to the point where game studios can just put the word realistic or authentic in a game's marketing campaign, and a number of people will go, "Oh shit, this game must be good," and then pre-order it. The problem is, realism on its own provides very little to the actual experience of playing a game. Realistic graphics without their own sense of style just kind of look bland and the same as every other graphically realistic game. Well, a game that isn't trying to look realistic could show much more pleasing and unique landscapes without making my laptop cry and then explode. Everyone likes to say that realistic systems provide a fun challenge, but when strategy games like XCOM in its hardest difficulty have odds and probabilities that are real instead of biased towards the player, people accuse the game of cheating.
I know that Legend's
bullshit though,
is
right?
kind of, well, it's just longer. That's the thing. And it kind of bullshits you on the RNG.
If these instances of realism don't enhance the playing experience, then the player quickly gets fatigued. Why am I engaging with this game if its own design choices are holding me back? Why am I paying so much money and investing so much time to not have fun? The truth is, we don't want realism. We want the feeling of facing and eventually beating a realistic challenge. We just think that we want straight up realism. Jennifer Sherle, an award-winning game designer, talks about this weird part of gaming psyche in her game dev community talk when she says,
Our work is to design for the human mind and the human perception. So the human mind is deeply flawed, and designing for it means to design with these flaws in mind.
the truth is that games are illusions. None of it is real. And funnily enough, when games get too realistic, they break this illusion because players are no longer engaged, so they begin to ask, why am I even playing this? Realism in games work when they don't waste the player's time and stop them from engaging with the actually good bits of the game. When a player has to work a day shift on the docks or mop the floors of an office in GTA 5 because, hey, this would happen when you're undercover and planning a robbery in real life, then they start to think about what reason the devs had for putting this into their game when it's not very fun or engaging. And all they want to do is get this part over with so that they can get back to the fun part of this artificial sequence of events. If a game does a good job immersing the player and keeping them engaged in the world, they stop thinking about the fact that someone designed it at all and that all of it's artificial. If you want hyper-realism to be a main focus of your game, you have to make sure that your realistic systems aren't just realistic for the sake of it and are still fun. Super realistic survival games like The Long Dark and Project Zomboid have systems like hunger, temperature, realistic health and injury mechanics, and all of these systems contribute to the main fun of the game, instead of just being some pointless little add-on for realism points. These systems are realistic and fun. So the next time you're deciding whether or not a realistic game or game system is worth your time, just remember what Reggie said. If it's not fun, why bother?
What do you gotta say about all that, Ali? Interesting.